Well, hello. Welcome back to the You Amaze Me recording with myself, Amanda Baker, licensed clinical social worker, 500-hour trained yoga instructor, but ultimately intuitive human being here, opening up this sacred space where soul meets story and story meets soul. And today we have a lovely guest, Cameron Kidd. I actually had the opportunity to be on his podcast a couple weeks ago. We did the recording. I'm looking forward to that coming out. It might even be out by the time that this is actually published. So hopefully you all can take some time to listen to me on there and then also see what comes up for us today. And so Cameron, joins us with a story of his own. I'm not even going to go too much into any of his history. I'm just going to open the floor up, Cameron, if you want to share where you are and anything that comes to mind in terms of when you think about like your story. I'll invite you to get right to it.
Um, well, currently physically based in Copenhagen.
Yes.
Mentally, I am just over a year sober, so it's been quite a roller coaster of a year. To be fair, I went to a program actually October last year, and they for substance alcohol abuse. It got to a point where I've tried on and off to sort of get myself on track, and it's never really worked. And my partner, my girlfriend, she gave me sort of an ultimatum and said, you need to take a good look at yourself and sort of get to help. Otherwise, I can't continue to be a part of your life. And I think that was when I realized that I'd rather have her in my life than the lifestyle I was living beforehand. So yeah, so I went in there, and February time this year I got diagnosed with ADHD through the program. So at the moment I'm on medication for that, which has its pros and cons. There's a lot of
Yes.
debate about medication online that I've noticed, but I think for me, for where I am in my life, had I not had the medication as a tool to help me sort of progress, then I don't know if I would have been able to do it, or if I would have found it, not that it's been easy, but I would have found it a lot harder to sort of go through the walk on the path that I am at the moment. So it's
Wow.
been a bit turbulent this year, and obviously I started the podcast in June, so I've had a lot of trying to obviously find myself again, my authentic self, and feel myself and be myself, and also starting the
Yes.
podcast to try and help others maybe in my situation or have been in my situation, to know that they're not alone, and we're all going through stuff, and it's okay to talk about it, and you shouldn't be ashamed of your past, because in my mind, your past, it molds you, it shapes you into the person you are. And I've had experiences which, they say don't let your past define you, but I have had experiences in my past that have defined me and have created who I am. I wouldn't change it. It's my journey, it's my story, and I've lived it, and I've come out the other side, so I'm grateful for that.
Yes. Yeah, I think sometimes so many directions I could go with everything you shared. And first off, just thank you for your openness early on,
Mm.
with me, and as well as knowing that other people will watch and or listen to this. Um, but to hear you say, those quotes that we hear sometime, don't let your past define you. And
Mm.
sometimes we take them so strongly in the black and white thinking of, okay, well, then my past is not going to define me. And
Mm.
then you experience kind of the other side, or the gray in between, where we all do have experiences that shape and mold us. So, yes, it might not define you, while they do influence and play a part in your overall wholeness. And I tend to look at authenticity as the wholeness of self. And that's a path, in my opinion, of self discovery. And sometimes you need to go back, you need to go backwards to remember yourself in order to move even more forward, so that then you can embody that wholeness and then share more of who you are. And I think that is through storytelling, or like you said, knowing that some of your past has shaped and molded you,
Hmm. No,
and
absolutely.
appreciating that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
it's it goes back to you said there about sometimes you have to go backwards to maybe go forwards again, and it kind
Hmm.
of I tried to get sober again, one of the times maybe a couple of years ago, and I think I lasted about 6 months, 7 months, and then I sort of fell back into it. And at that moment in time, I really I was quite angry at myself, obviously disappointed in myself, because I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve in the sense of staying sober for a longer period of time, or for good.
Hmm.
But then I look back on it now, and had I not fallen back into that path, it wouldn't have got. And it sounds a bit counterproductive to say this, but if I hadn't have fallen back, and if it hadn't have then got as bad as it had done, then I wouldn't have been able to get the help that I ended up getting, so I wouldn't be where I am today. So it all kind of, there was no, and I think I say that in some other videos of mine, that you might think it's the wrong decision, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the wrong decision long term. So I mean, in that moment, I felt it was the wrong decision, but it's turned out to be, the right decision. It got me here. So
Yes.
there was no reason to be so disappointed in myself.
Yes. Yes. And maybe that's what that quote is about. Don't let your past define you, is more of a message to not cling to the past where you made a decision and you deemed it wrong, whereas instead loosening up the grip around it and recognizing the long term, uh, not even necessarily benefit, but just like you said, of acceptance.
Hmm.
I can accept that this thing happened and it got me here, or it was just a part of the path, a part, if it's like a turn in the road that you
Hmm.
took that then got you to where you are, especially if you are valuing where you are in that moment as much as it sounds like you are, like you said, to get the help that you've gotten now.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm, I like I said, I heard you say several things, having this kind of ultimatum with your partner led you to the treatment that you've gotten more recently, or led you to the sobriety that you're in now, as well as during that treatment, uh, getting diagnosed with ADHD, and perhaps that diagnosis, along with the treatment for the ADHD, that has benefited the treatment for your alcohol abuse or alcohol use, and your sobriety.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I got the diagnosis, it was quite an emotional moment, I suppose. Everything sort of started to make a bit more sense as to why I struggled so much, maybe growing up, just even at school. And I'd look at other people, and I'd be like, how are they doing this, and how are they doing that, and why can't I seem to get myself together, or am I just lazy?
Mhm.
And it always felt like I was running a race with my shoes tied up. I'd get so far, then I'd fall down, and I'd get back up, and then I'd fall back down, and it just always felt like it was just a constant fight to just progress. And I didn't understand why I found it so difficult. And I think
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
probably why I ended up, as I got older, turning to substances to help me manage myself, and especially in my mind, because inside of my head I was quite nasty to myself. I was never nice. And I couldn't be on my own. The thought of being on my own or in my own company, just it made me so uncomfortable, because I didn't know how to be on my own. I
Mhm.
ran from
Mhm.
myself for so long, and it was just so unnatural to not be on something.
Sure. So could we say, just from what you're sharing, that the alcohol use or the substance use was a way to manage yourself, to survive, right? If you
Yeah,
couldn't be with yourself,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. It's sad to say, but it was. I need this to be able to function. That's how it felt.
Hmm.
It felt like I couldn't,
Sure.
without it. I couldn't, and it was just always escapism. It was always running from thoughts, memories, feelings that maybe you didn't want to unpack, or you didn't want to pay any attention to, and you just tried to suppress it or numb it with whatever I could get my hands on. But at the same time, when I had a drink, it was the only time before I went too far, it was always the time I felt I could actually be in a moment. Like I never knew how to be in a moment. I never knew how to be grateful or how to enjoy just the present time. It was always too much in here, just going around and around and around.
Yes.
And I was always thinking about too much or other things. And when I had that drink or whatever, it made me. That was the only time it all sort of quiet, and I could just be here.
Be
And
quieted.
yeah, and then obviously I want
Yes,
that to continue. So you take more or you drink more, and
of
then
course.
before you know it,
Yeah.
you're a mess, basically.
Mm. Yes. Makes so, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me, and my experience in witnessing, hearing others' stories about, addiction from substances, because I don't have that same
Hmm.
experience. I think I have other addictions. While the judgment or the stigma or even the shame that comes around of the kind of the way that it's categorized, that alcohol use is considered a negative, self-destructive form of coping or a form of an addiction. It's bad, it's wrong. And so I imagine that there's shame that goes in, especially hearing a partner say, if you don't stop this, our relationship's over, right? So
Hmm.
now there's this like threat of connection. And I'm not saying that any of that is wrong or bad. I'm highlighting, more for critical thinking here, um, because I get it. I get it's not the way to continue living, and there are very real detrimental consequences, physically to the body that can happen, leading to death.
Hmm.
Um, while recognizing, like I said, from my understanding, that when we take away a coping mechanism without having another one, right? It's like, oh, well, then, all right, if I just completely detox or withdraw from this, now I'm back with all the noise in my head and
Hmm.
the negative and the discomfort, the agony, the pain, the misery that's there. And the other side of it is like we give a lot of praise to other forms of coping. Like, I have a lot of experience with meditation, but I think that that can be overused as another form of escapism.
Hmm.
But it's not one that's really deemed as you need to go to treatment to stop your addiction to meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation is bad or wrong. But if it's not being utilized in a way to go deeper into self, but it's more to feel this peace and bliss. And people struggle getting into meditation, while I also know that meditation can be used in a way of just trying to feel good. And I
Hmm.
and I think that the long-term treatment methods are not about feeling good or feeling better. It's about how to be better at feeling the full range of emotion.
Hmm. No, absolutely. And there was quite a lot there. You said that made me think a lot. It was 'cause you can find other paths of addiction. Like I find now with my podcast and with what I'm doing now, I find that that's me escaping still. But it's more constructive than it is destructive.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm still addicted to it because I also all I think about. It's all I want to do. It's all I wake up and yeah, it's all I'm doing. So I completely get you when you make that point. And you know, the ultimatum I got from my partner, my girlfriend, was obviously yeah, it was years. I had put everyone through a lot in those years, and I think I'd moved to Denmark on my own, so I left my family and my friends and everyone behind. So that was sort of my coping when I got here because I was lonely as well. And
Mm,
sometimes she'd be at work and
mm,
I couldn't find a job, and that would
mm,
be
mhm.
how I'd cope with me bashing myself for not providing or not being good enough or thinking I'd made a mistake. And what's really horrible is that, and I still can't figure it out. I still trying to understand it in my own self and other people. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I couldn't stop myself from doing it. Like there was one morning I remember waking up and I just got a beer out the fridge and my girlfriend looked at me and she was just like, are you for real? And I
Mm.
was like, yeah, I am, but I don't. I know what I'm doing. I know I shouldn't do it, but I just don't. I can't not do it. I can't. I can't. I just have to do it. And it's such it's a weird place to be because your mind, one side of your mind is telling you this is crazy, and the other part of you is going, I don't care, and then you're fighting that.
Hmm.
Those two sort of
Yes.
the devil and the angel. I suppose it's the old cartoon.
Yeah.
And that's been
Yeah.
a constant battle for me. There's always been like the one side and the other side, and they compete, and it's tiring. It's so tiring.
Yes. Because what happens in, well, I hear you. It's tiring. That's one feeling. I was literally going to say, if you're there in that moment, if you have the capacity to go back to it, even now, you're at the fridge and you're about to go grab that beer, and part of you knows, don't do this. I don't even want to say don't do it because it's wrong. It's just something in you that really doesn't want to. Knows it's not authentic. This is not authentic you. And the other side that's like, I need it. Maybe that's the chemical dependence. Maybe that's the escapism there. And you're right there in that point of the two conflicting feelings and decisions, the angel and the devil. And I think we often feel like we got to pick one. And maybe in that moment you did. Maybe you went with what the devil said. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it's always
what
sorry.
what what happens if you, yeah, I'm just, what happens if you stay in that space? And then you can also share what you were about to say too.
I think your question leads on to what I was going to say, so it's okay. It's
Perfect.
yeah, it's easier. It's the path of least resistance, isn't it? As they say, it's much
Hmm.
easier to just grab that drink and put it in me, and then all that goes away, rather than having to sit there and actually do some real work within myself. That takes a lot of effort. It's quick dopamine hit. It's how can I make myself feel comfortable the quickest, and the answer was always an instant hit of something.
Yeah.
And it's mad though because my girlfriend, she's so much more spiritual, connected, grounded, and than I was, or even now I am. And so we were two sort of opposites in that sense. Like she was very well in tune with herself, very well, um, yeah, connected, and she must have looked at me at times and thought, why are you being so destructive? And I tried to explain to her,
Hard
and
to understand.
yeah, and I said, I don't want to be like this. You think if I had a choice, I'd want to do this. I'd want to be like this. I can't seem to break the chain, and that was the most frustrating part for me, is because I don't want to do this. I don't want to be like this, and I can't escape it, and I don't know how to. And that used to get me really upset. It caused a lot of pain for me, just to because in there's a part of me that always knew I was better than that, or that I could do something, and I think it was just I didn't know what. I didn't have the belief in myself at the time, and that was the quickest way to. Again, it's Dutch courage, or made me confident for that moment. I was like that, but I couldn't be like that forever, because that's no way to live.
I really hear that it's not how you want to live.
Mm,
Something in you, again, knows that it's not how you want to live.
yeah.
While if you didn't have the experiences, if you're okay with more of this personal question,
Hmm.
when you were growing up, younger you were, because a lot of this is about, a lot of the drinking is, like you said, escaping your mind, escaping the feelings that were inside, potentially from the ADHD. So while you were growing up, was your, and I don't know your history. I have no idea if you have siblings or what your family life was really like. But was your inner world, your emotions explored? Were other people interested in having you share that, in supporting you to feel what you were feeling?
No, I think not that I was left to my own devices, or me or my sister. I think my parents were just very young when they had us, and I think they had a lot more. They had a lot on their plate, financially, and um, keeping food on the table, keeping a roof over the head. And my mum was ill for a short period of time, in the sense like she also had a very chronic depression and found it very hard to sort of leave the house. And so my dad was working quite a lot of jobs to sort of fund everyone, and so that they didn't really have time for, I suppose, to stop and take stock on how we were, or how we were emotionally. And it was sort of, yeah, the only people were maybe your friends, but even your friends at that age aren't emotionally regulated or mature enough to
Right.
explain to you
Right.
what you're feeling. So yeah, so I wouldn't say it
Yeah.
was lack of love, it was just lack of time, or awareness, I think, of maybe how it was. Because I know there was a question I asked myself the other day, and it was like, can you be too loved as well? Because I know I never didn't I never didn't feel loved by my parents. I always felt
Hmm.
tremendous amount of love from both of them. Um, I would say where they could have done better is maybe, yeah, conversation, or being able to speak more about how I was or how it felt. And because
Hmm. Hmm.
I haven't got time for it, maybe that was probably it. So it
The
wasn't,
time.
yeah, I didn't have a
Right.
bad upbringing, or um neglection or anything. And that's the thing, that my there's stories out there that I've heard that, they're real, trauma stories. And
Hmm.
so sometimes I look at myself as well, and I think, oh, what are you complaining about? Because it wasn't that bad growing up. But I think as a child, if you lack that sort of emotional connection,
Hmm.
or taught and explained how to move within your emotions and feelings, then it follows you up into your adulthood. And that's why, growing up as well, I was just very angry, just very aggressive, and that was the only way I knew how to release that in me, was by being destructive. And I would, yeah, just get myself into situations that I didn't need to be in, or I and then you look back at it and you think, why have I done that? It's not me. It's not who I am. It's not who I want to be.
Hmm.
But it's just
Hmm.
something sort of takes over, I think, inside of you, and you keep everything in for so long, and then at one point it's like a pressure cooker. It's like the kettle on the hob. It's going to whistle and whistle, and soon or later the lid's going to pop off. And that's kind of how I was. I'd
Yeah.
whistle, and then I'd explode.
Whew. And then explode. Understandable. What what you describe, I think we all have this innate need to be recognized, and to be recognized can come from an emotional connection, attunement, just someone's presence. Like you said, if your parents didn't have time, they might not have been able to be present with you, even just not. It doesn't have to be like physical hours of presence. It could be 20 minutes of presence. But if they're busy, if they're preoccupied, sometimes they're just not available, and that's their own humanness, while it has an effect on the child.
Hmm.
And if that inner world for you isn't able to come out to connect with another, that becomes the familiar too. And so you might naturally inside, it's all coming out for you to explore. But if you don't have the capacity because you're still a kid, or you're, again, didn't have the modeling to be shown to you, then we recreate that.
Hmm.
So my sense too is that the alcohol use was a way to stay in that familiar. Like you said, it's the path of least resistance. It's, I'm used to my emotions not being explored.
Hmm.
And if you're not willing to explore them because you didn't learn how, or it's scary, or it's overwhelming, well, here's a way for me to recreate that,
Yeah.
because that's what you know. And then the other side of that, not doing that, even though it's probably what is authentic to you and helps you really come out as more of yourself, and would be the long term, probably like fulfillment, but that becomes really scary. And that's also the harder path.
Hmm. Yeah, it's very hard to start building when you don't have any of the materials to
Mm.
lay the foundation. So I had to sort of figure out what it is I needed to start the building process, and
Yeah.
that that initially came with learning my how to regulate my emotions and be better in tune with myself. And again, it's easy just to say that to someone when they have no idea what that actually means when they first walk into a therapy session.
Yes.
But I've been learning, and it is fulfilling. It does. Even now, my window of tolerance is just so much larger than it was, a year ago,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I put that down to therapy as well as the medication, possibly, but also, the
Hmm.
meditation. Again, I just didn't think there was anything in meditation for years, and then now I'm practicing it. I'm starting to realize, what, there's a
Oh, I
reason
love that.
people do it. There's a reason people
Hmm.
are doing this, because it works. So I'm grateful for that as well.
Well, and all the things, like you said, how now podcasting, it's not like we go from one addiction, whether it's a more considered destructive, negative addiction or coping, to all of a sudden the best. It's or like, hey, I'm completely transformed. It's my belief is like it's the spiral is the symbol I use is like you repeat, but each time it's a little better. Right. So it's
Hmm.
like, okay, I went from, maybe alcohol and now it's the podcasting. And like you said, like you want to do it all of the time.
Hmm.
And whether it's excessive or extreme, it might be for this period of time. Like going back to what you said about, everything leading up to where you want to go. I actually, if you're open to it, I created this visual earlier,
Hmm.
um, that I happen to, if I can find it, I'll open it. I literally, it's not done, but I feel like it's so fitting. I'll share it on my screen. So if you look here, did that come up for you? Are you able to see it? Whoop, now
Oh,
it's too
this
big.
is cool, isn't it? Look at
So
this.
I know. I just thought of it this morning. And so I have resistance is the
Hmm.
gap you need to walk through, right? So because we tend to resist because something's like uncomfortable. And so if we have, here you are right now.
Hmm.
And most people, I believe, have these like subconscious or underlying things that they're dealing with. And you can stay where you are, you can move a little bit, but it's like you got to face the things that are happening underneath the surface, right? So
Hmm.
underneath the surface is this self-hate. And you can either decide, I'm going to face my self-hate, like I'm going to face that I have this voice in me that shames me, brings me down, says all these awful things, or I'm going to keep being here with all these things underneath the surface and like not walk through them. On the outside, right, is like what people might see, your addiction. They might see your drinking, your podcasting. Even for me, it's like overworking or doing too much yoga, too much meditation. Whether they're addictions, I'm just naming some things here.
Hmm.
Um, but then it also fear, judgment, uncertainty. So up here, controlling. Like there's these negative things or these uncomfortable things. But if you're willing to really like go into them, you eventually come to acceptance. You come to recognizing uncertainty is a part of life. Uncertainty doesn't necessarily mean bad things are going to happen. Uncertainty can be exciting.
Hmm.
Um, Uncertainty can lead to surprises. And then it's love. And then you get to really be who you want to be, who you know you are, who you are becoming or remembering.
Hmm.
And I say like that's, the true self is one of courage, curiosity, creativity, compassion, care, and your skills, your talents, your
Hmm.
abilities.
That's interesting, because it feels quite accurate for me anyway, because the addiction and then the control and the acceptance, that's kind of the path I seemed to find myself on through this year was obviously I had the addiction. I came out of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then after that, I was controlling in the sense of I was trying to control everything so I wouldn't fall back or I wouldn't
Yeah.
make a mistake. And then once I started to let a bit more control go, then the acceptance came. And I think that's sort of
Hmm.
where I am now, especially, I was meditating the other night, and as I was coming back to myself, it just had this feeling of nothing really matters, but not in a nihilistic kind of way, just in life is full of so many uncertainties that if you're gonna try and control every outcome, then you're going to be surprised at how upset or let down you can be when it doesn't
Hmm.
go the way you want it to be. So in this respect that nothing really, at the end of the day, nothing's going to matter that much that it's going to ruin your day or ruin your life or ruin your future. It's just taking the day as it comes and trying to be in the moment. And that's another thing I realized, because I was always so quick at trying to move on to the next thing, or not, like I said, not being in the moment. But I've realized now that it's all you have. There's nothing else.
That's all we have. Hmm.
There's no past, there's no future. It's just here, and you're never going to get the time back. So you may as well just enjoy where you are. Doesn't matter what you're doing if you're here and you're breathing, and that alone should give you encouragement or an understanding that you can do anything from here.
Yes. So really hearing that you've already kind of stepped into like that gap, to face the resistance or to let the resistance down so that you can, move into kind of each phase that again is like necessary, necessary to have the addiction to keep you functioning, to keep you alive, necessary to control, so that you don't fall back to that particular addiction. And then from there, when you reach a point of readiness, which is going to be a different timeline for each person,
Mm-hmm.
that you can come to more of that acceptance through the tools or the resources, the supports that you have, like you said, the therapy, the ADHD medication, the meditation, the podcasting, these connections with people. I mean, look at that, right? If you felt like you didn't get to have as much connection when you were younger, but what you're fostering now,
Mm-hmm.
like it was your girlfriend, giving the ultimatum of your relationship because I think that was necessary for you, it sounds like, to make that choice because the connection was so important to you. The connection that you have there, and then also with what you are creating and fostering through the podcast.
Yeah, and I've always been a social person, and my girlfriend always attains to that as well. She always says you come alive after you've been around people. But I think because I went so inwards in myself through whatever I was going through for that a long period of time, it's 16,
Mm-hmm.
17 to 34. So that 10, 8, 14, 18 years nearly of just beating myself up. Yeah. And I lost how to how to be connected with people, how to be connected with myself. And throughout this whole journey
Mm-hmm.
this year, I've learned how to start feeling that energy again and enjoying being around people and talking to people, because I isolated myself. I didn't want to, and not because I didn't want to be around people, it's just because I didn't feel like I deserved to be around people, or that I just didn't like myself. So I didn't think anyone else would like me or want to be around me. So I just, locked myself away and became a
Mm.
bit of a hermit.
So, how is that relationship with yourself now? Hearing you say you didn't like yourself, what contributed to you maybe building a better relationship even with yourself?
It was a lot of forgiveness, I think. A lot of acceptance was the first part. I had to make peace with stuff that had happened to me in my past, and maybe not blame myself for it. And I also had to forgive certain people, and not hold anger and hatred, because it was only hurting me. It wasn't
Mm.
helping me. It was just hurting. So I had to sort of process all that first of all, I think, because I think that's where a lot of the anger was coming from, that I wanted maybe, I don't know, some kind of revenge or something, to some justice for that, you know, and I wasn't going to get it. So I had to accept that things happened. And again, I'm here because of that. So, and maybe that's why I have the mindset I do have as well for standing up for people, because of, you know, things that have happened for myself. So I think the first part was, acceptance and forgiveness, and then realizing that I'm not that bad a person. You know, I've made bad decisions, and I think that was the sort of realization there, that it wasn't me, it was my decisions. And a lot of my decisions was when I was not myself, put it that way.
Yes.
My real self, my authentic self, isn't the person I pretended to be, and that was it as well. I was a pretender for so many years because I thought it was defense as well, you know, it was to protect myself. Yeah. So I pretended to be someone I wasn't. And then when you start to be your real self, you start to realize that you do love yourself, because you don't like the person or love the person you are because it's not who you are. It's you're that person because it's strange, isn't it? Because you're that person you've become because of what's happened to you through those. So you're mimicking stuff that's happened to you to be that person, so that stuff doesn't happen to you. So that's why you don't like yourself, because you're being everything that you don't want to be, that you think you have to
that
be.
You're not.
Does that make any sense?
So those it only does because of like my own therapy session that I was in earlier this week, and that's something that came up of like, oh, I've created these masks or these personas because I'm so scared of this previous thing happening again. I don't ever want it to happen again. But then, now the struggle of, but I'm not being myself.
Yeah.
It's,
or I'm being that person that I don't want. I'm being that person that I don't like.
Yes.
So what happens to me then? You think, well, to stop being, for that to not happen to me again, then I need to be that person that done those things. So then you're mirroring the person that's hurt you, so you don't get hurt by that
So
similar individuals. Yeah, that all happened in real time, by the way, in my head. Just so you know, I was figuring all that out.
Wow, I love that. That's the best aha breakthrough moments is when that's why I do these unfiltered, unplanned, no clue what we're going to talk about, because I really trust in each person that their own insights come through talking and something maybe about being recorded. That's how my podcast came to be, because I started recording myself just for myself. I'd hit record on my phone and I'd start talking, and then I'd have all these like aha moments. And I was like, I want to share these, or I want others to have them too. So to hear you literally say like that just came.
Yeah. That's why it probably didn't sound so articulate, because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to tell it or tell the story or to explain myself. But I couldn't find the words in such a short time. As it was all happening, it was just a load of words in my head.
And that's okay, because again, I trust that it's doing something internally in you. So even if you can't articulate it for listeners to understand, the message I want to then offer from this is, again, the value of speaking out loud and then even recording it, because the voice that we're speaking from when we talk out loud, to me, is a different voice than just your thoughts or your other parts talking to you. This voice, in my opinion, is your authentic, true voice, or higher self voice speaking through you. And so if people can just witness what you experienced, even if they aren't able to comprehend it, because it's hard to fully put into language, you might get it later and then you can share it later.
Yeah, I will.
Is that something's happening for you right now in the moment on the internal level as well? That makes a greater impact or imprint within yourself for continuing to live your life fully.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it also helps. Like, I don't know if you do it as well, but speaking out loud, it helps me process a lot more. especially just
Yes.
easier to process when I speak out loud.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes people
Same.
think
I'm
I'm going
so,
crazy.
yeah, but we're not.
Yeah, no, you're only crazy if you talk back to yourself. Yeah,
Right. If you think it's a different person in there,
yeah,
it's just a different part of you. But
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm very grateful for like the friends I leave voice messages to. Like I prefer voice messages than text or than talking on the phone because I can leave these like 10-minute voice message recordings knowing at some point they might listen to it, but also again, it's like a processing for
yeah, yeah.
me.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
sent me a 10-minute voice note, I would be intimidated to open it. I'd have to find some real spare time to listen to that. Yeah, they give me the
And that's
fear.
funny because 10 is not my longest.
Okay,
I've left 30 minutes before.
right. Okay, yeah,
And I've gotten that feedback like this is intimidating.
yeah, yeah. It
Like,
would be. I get them sometimes from friends and family, and I look at it, and if it's over 2 minutes, I'm like, I haven't got time to listen to that. And if
mm-hmm.
everyone's sending you 2-minute voice notes, that's like half your day. So yeah,
It is.
so yeah, they intimidate me.
Well, yes, and I can understand that maybe reminding that it's more, hopefully more for the other person who left it, that they got their words out than necessarily any pressure on you to
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do anything
Yeah,
with
some people.
it.
Yeah, some people do say at the beginning, "You don't have to answer right away." I know you won't. So
Hmm.
they already know.
Good.
Mm,
That's good. Yes. Yeah. Well, I often say, for me, like your mess is your message.
hmm
So I'm curious, from your story, your life, your experience, your mess, what what are some messages, even or things that, and it doesn't have to be more than one, but that you have learned or that you feel is valuable to share or takeaways for others?
See, I think I say to a lot of people, that there's only you only get one life, and there's no receipt, there's no exchange. So you should always do what fulfills you and what fills you up. When you look at your situation or the life that you're living, are you living it for you or are you living it for someone else? Because if you're living it for someone else, then you're not living it correctly. I think that would be my message to someone is if you're not happy, then stop doing it, because you're going to get to the end and you're going to realize that not that you've wasted your life, but that you've lived a life that wasn't authentic to yourself, and it was to impress the next door neighbor or your parents or your friends or whoever. And the only opinion that matters is yours, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live with you. No one else does. That's
Yes.
kind of what I would say. And
Thank
it's
you. Thank
sobriety
you.
is tough, but it's worth it. You should,
Mm.
and
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I don't, I do get frustrated when I see people talk about sobriety and they paint it out to be, their life changed overnight and it was fantastic and it was all rainbows and unicorns and sunflowers, and it's it's not. There's a dark side to substance abuse and alcoholism, and there's also a dark side to sobriety. But what's encouraging is that there's no light at the end of the alcoholism or the substance abuse, but there is light at the end of the sobriety tunnel. So you should, even though it's tough and you might want to quit, don't, because you will thank yourself after,
Yeah.
when it's all done.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that
Oh, you're
too.
welcome.
Because we're more capable of doing the hard thing when it's worth it
hmm
versus the hard thing when, like you said, there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
hmm Yeah, and I didn't want to be that lonely old man in the pub, married to a pint. So
Mm.
I've
Hmm.
realised there was more to life than the bottom of a pint glass.
Hmm. And it might take you time to realize that, to
hmm
to get to that.
Yeah,
To
slowly,
see beyond.
yeah,
Hmm.
slowly I'm getting there. You know, I'm starting to find joy in the things that I used to find joy in again, and that's encouraging to realize that there's more to life than parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's one of those joys? You said starting to find joy in things again. What's one of those joys?
Just getting out, just getting outside, being in nature. I've I've asked. I'm looking at investing in some camping gear, so I'm going to get back out there and yeah, get into nature and just do maybe some solo camping and just be by myself and then enjoy my company again through nature and moving my body. Football. I've got back into my football as well, which has been or soccer for you, which has been great.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Okay. So, okay.
yeah.
I was thinking our
No,
football,
yeah,
but
no,
thanks for
soccer. Yeah. So
clarification.
that's nice, and yeah, do I want to commit now? Yeah, okay. If I commit now, then I have to be held accountable, and that means I have to do it. So I'm gonna. You're one of the first people, listeners, everyone,
I'm honored.
yeah,
Honored.
who I've told outside of
Yes.
my circle. But I'm looking next year to cycle from Copenhagen to Athens, so to try and raise money for sort of suicide prevention because I lost a cousin through. We don't know if I lost a cousin through the same situation I was in. Um, so men's mental health and suicide prevention, and also spina bifida because I was born with spina bifida. So I'm lucky to be walking as well. So I think
Yes.
that's I want to feel alive again. I want to challenge myself. I've been so lost, and now I want to do something and give back to people. So that will be the start of me, hopefully helping as many as I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, raise some money
That's
for that.
amazing.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
I've said it now, so it's going to be out there. So here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's happening. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold you
Yeah.
accountable. We're
You
gonna
know,
come back after you do
yeah,
this
you know what's going to happen?
and have another talk.
Yeah, you're gonna. I'm gonna get off this call later, and I'm gonna be like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Yeah, and then
Because higher you knows it's true and you spoke
yeah,
it out
yeah.
loud.
It's all I'm thinking about now as well. So I feel like it is. It's just it's the unknown, isn't it? That again, it's that fear of the unknown that holds you from doing it. Because I've obviously never done anything that crazy before.
Yeah.
Um, especially on my own. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm 98% there. So now I've said it. I think that's the final 2%.
There you go.
Yeah.
100% there. Again, your bliss, your joy resides in your fear. As we talked about before, we're hitting record.
Hmm.
That nervous excitement is exactly what you want to listen to and where you want to go. It's
Hmm.
uncertain. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to lead you to where you want to be. Even if, again, you don't know exactly what that is, there's something pulling you, even though it's scary, it's pulling you towards this like mission or passion or service. Like it's for yourself and it's also for others.
Hmm. No, exactly. And
It's greater.
yeah, and what you described there, like because I can't describe it. It's something that feels
Hmm.
like I want to, or should, or I need, or a
Hmm.
desire. It's
Hmm.
something that I would never. Uh, why Copenhagen? I don't know. It just felt right. That's what feels right. I can't explain it. There's no reason. There's
Yeah.
no logical reason. Like my girlfriend said, well, do you know maybe just do like Denmark, like do the whole of Denmark? And I was like, something just tells me it needs to be Athens.
Okay. Okay.
I can't answer
I
it. I can't.
support you.
Yeah, I can't tell you why. It just it feels like that's right. It is
And
far. So yeah,
how
it is
long
quite
will that
far.
take?
Well,
Yeah. What is
it's
that?
about 3,500 kilometers. So I'm going to do it over maybe like 2 or 3 months. So yeah,
Okay.
maybe do
Okay.
about 40 kilometers a day or something.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
That's you will experience and explore so much. And
mm,
hearing you even say like spending more time with yourself, even just if it's that camping, one night, but something like this, even greater than that. hearing you say at the beginning of our talk how hard it was for you to be with you,
Mm,
and now hearing you say, I want to spend more time with myself. I want to feel more alive.
yeah.
And doing that through these like extraordinary journeys, like adventure filled challenges.
Hmm. No,
That's
exactly. It just makes me feel
it's inspiring.
alive.
Yes.
I loved being on my own little adventures in the night when, I was intoxicated or on whatever. And obviously that's not very constructive. So I want to feel that sort of sense of freedom again, but in a constructive way. And I feel like
Yes.
over the so many years I've been in a alcohol drug fueled bubble that forgotten how to find that
Mm.
any other way. So this is sort of me getting back to my roots, getting back to myself.
Yes.
So I love it. I love it when I'm outside. I love it when I'm in nature. I love it when I'm away from everyone. Do you know what I mean? Not to the extent
Hmm.
where I don't want to be bothered, but I love the feeling of being open nature and just being by yourself in it and just
Yeah.
taking in the sounds and the smells and sunrise, sunsets
Me too.
and yeah, obviously I've seen a lot of sunrises, but for the wrong reasons sometimes. but
Okay.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so
You speak something I think too that's pretty powerful in terms of the way that drugs and substances and alcohol open up that, like you said, like it led you to feel alive, or again to enjoy your own company, or um, the partying and the feeling of that, like getting into that energetic state. Yes, the substance was inducing that, but I fully believe that we have that within ourselves and we don't need the substance to get you there. Sometimes the substance magnifies to an extreme. If we think about more of like psychedelic medications or hallucinogenic medications, I don't think we're meant to be at that potency. We can't function here on earth in that
yeah.
potency. So people who are constantly seeking doing those, I think, are kind of trying to get beyond our earthly reality. But if we are choosing to live here on earth, we can certainly have that energetic, emotional state authentically, naturally, organically. And
Yeah.
you're exploring that again for yourself, or even myself, I would do these like somatic breathwork classes, and the woman would say like this is getting to a psychedelic state through your breath. But now I don't feel like I need to do those breathwork classes to feel alive,
Hmm.
or I don't need to meditate as often to get into a more meditative, energetic state in my body to feel alive. Needed it to help show me, oh, I have the potential to feel this way. I can feel this way. Can I feel this way without relying on this thing to always get me there? And and then when you start realizing that you can, and you start doing it more and more, it gets easier.
Mm.
Um, and then you're living more naturally, authentically, and also engaging more than with others
Yeah.
through that.
And I think that's exactly sort of where I'm on that precipice now, where I'm trying to find what you said there, the same feelings I got, but naturally through stuff that
Yes.
through actions and environments that I know can bring that towards going back to what I used to enjoy before I decided to do all the
Yeah.
things I shouldn't
That's
have
what
done. Yeah, shouldn't have been doing.
we're remembering. Yeah,
Yeah, is
that's
that?
what it
I
is.
feel like a kid again. I feel like I've come out of
Yeah,
I've come out
I
of
love that.
the womb and I'm just starting to relearn how to live my life again, but
Mm.
in
Hmm.
a positive way, and I'm finding joy again in small things. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of things happening around me again, and I can smile at little life situations I see on the street again. So yeah, it's all very positive, and I'm grateful to still be here. I'm still grateful to, as I said, like my cousin. Unfortunately, there's that probably has survivor's guilt a little bit in there, but again, I do a lot of things, and I think of him when I'm doing it because I wish he was here on the journey with me, and he had got the help he needed before. But so yeah, I'm grateful to be here. I'm excited to continue the path I'm on, and like I said before, help as many people as I can in the process.
In the process, yes, because it can be both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that, and even the tribute, per se, to your cousin.
Yeah, I had to keep it a bit brief because I was trying to hold back the the feeling, the emotion. But I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, well, that's welcome. Well, would you like to pick a card, an oracle card, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm well up for it.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I have many decks, but you're going to pick what intuitively resonates for you.
Okay.
So I have an animal spirit deck, so you can
Mm-hmm.
take a look at that. Animal spirit. I have a moon
Okay.
oracle, prism oracle. So this is a color deck.
Right.
Soul. I mean, I have like 30. I'm
Just
not
gonna.
showing you 30.
Yeah.
this, this soul mirror.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm showing so many. An herbal one, and then awakening intuition. And if you need me to show any others, again, I
Did you
will.
get the rest of them out?
You want me to do like all 50? We'll be
Yeah.
here for another hour.
And I'll get all my herbal tea, and you can get me all your oracle cards. No, I think
Yeah. What's calling your name?
I think that awakening one, the last one you showed me, I think.
The last one, which I
Yeah.
almost didn't grab. I was
Well,
pulling all the others,
that might be a
and then I
sign
was
as
like,
well. Then.
I think that's the sign. I was like, nope, I got to take this one. So maybe that's why I had to grab 5 to get to
Yeah.
the actual one.
We
Because
got there.
usually I only give people three
Okay, there you go.
choices. So it's meant to be. Okay. So I'm
Oh,
going
now I'm doubting
to.
myself. Okay, no, we're doing it. Go that one. Yeah.
No, we're doing this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna shuffle, and if you just want to think, of anything that you want guidance on, want to know, you don't have to pick anything in particular. And then as I shuffle, you tell me when to stop. Okay. All right. So right or left hand, and then top or bottom.
Bottom.
Bottom. Okay. So we have 2 because one stood out to me. So I kind of pulled that from the middle. So I have that one, and then I have the one that is on the bottom.
Okay.
So the one on the bottom, and they don't really have pictures, this deck, but I'll read it. So they have a message on the card, and then a little booklet that goes with it. So the one that you picked is number 64.
Mm-hmm.
And it says adopt and adapt intuitive rituals. Rituals are necessary to access your intuition. For some people, rituals can heighten, encourage, or focus your intuition. Rituals can be something simple like lighting a candle, saying a prayer, placing your hand over your heart, ringing a bell, singing in a certain spot. So your guidance through this is to adapt and adopt rituals. It also seems to say that you can listen to other people's rituals and even consider those for yourself.
Okay, I'm a very ritual person. My girlfriend
Mm.
laughs at me sometimes at how stubborn I am to deviate from my
Ah,
rituals at night, especially before bed. So that's interesting.
okay. Yes. So in the booklet, it says take note of any rituals you already have. Some you might not even be aware of. Rituals may have started unintentionally, and over time, their power and importance can come just from your own habitual nature. Interestingly, the magic carpet I sit on, this is from the author, is saying, interestingly, the magic carpet I sit on during readings in my office was first purchased as a day bed for my bedroom. And after returning the bed, I then decided to keep the cushion as my own for my ritual. So something can become part of your ritual practice over time. So and then they continue to say, many years ago, they were listening to a famous inspirational author answer calls over the radio. One particular caller was distraught and asked for advice. Before the author gave advice, said, hold on, I want to go grab this little heart-shaped stone that I use before answering questions, because the stone helps me tune in on a deeper level for deeper wisdom. the heart-shaped stone was really nothing special, but over time, it had become a way to quiet the mind, ground focus, and tune in. This author was not a famous psychic, but out of dozens of books they never published, they had a sixth sense. This ritual connected them to their intuition. And so you might benefit from having your own intuitive ritual or two. So try calling on, your own spiritual connection, and then begin adopting or incorporating in a ritual practice of your own.
I will take that. I think, my meditation at the moment is a very big ritual for me in the evening. That's something I like, my incense. So, but I might have to find I might have to find a stone.
Right. It might be adapting, right? The ones you already have or others, so that you can start to go even deeper.
Yeah.
Even deeper to that connection to your, intuitive ability.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel more intuitive. Just even being sober. Do you know what I mean? When you're not putting poison in your body, you can feel yourself, your mind's clarity. Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot what it felt like. Quite nice.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
That in of itself, every day, the ritual of staying sober.
Mm-hmm. Hydrated, but with water. Yeah.
Yes. I like that. Well, the other one that was sticking out to me, this is number 18, which 18's my birth date. I was born on the 18th of January. But this one says sleep. Guidance in your dreams. Respect guidance of dreams.
Okay.
So sleep can be a time of mystical awakening. Not all dreams convey intuitive messages, but drawing this card indicates that you might currently be receiving some interesting sixth sense while sleeping. At dawn, quickly record the vivid, memorable nuances of your nocturnal adventures. Discern which of your nightly dreams deserves your awakening attention. And this is wild, Cameron, because I woke up in the middle of the night and I forgot, and I'm just remembering right now. I woke up in the middle of last night and I wrote down my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I forgot I did that. And it's here in the notes of my phone.
That was your card.
This is my card.
Yeah. You're one step ahead.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. If I didn't get this card, I don't know if I would have gone back to that I wrote down my dream.
It's mental.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay. So my dream was that I was told that my son was sick and couldn't go to school. And then I was feeling torn in the dream, like, oh no. And this was literally now about today. I was like, oh no, I have these clients and I have this podcast recording and I don't want to cancel. Like, I don't want to have to tell my clients that I can't work if I have to watch my son. And I was feeling all of this, like torn state of, I love my work and I love spending time with my son too. Why? And it was kind of like, why am I not happy to have the whole day with my son who can't go to school today? That didn't happen. That wasn't actually real, but that's what came up.
Maybe that's like from within yourself. Maybe you're thinking about, am I spending enough time with my son when I'm working, or have I got enough of me to do both? Maybe it's a bit of a doubt in yourself. I don't know. But that's really interesting.
It is.
I was just mad that you got that card as well.
Yes, literally, forgot that I wrote that in my phone.
Yeah, it was meant to be about me, but Amanda's remembered that she wrote down her dream.
Well, you'll have to see. Maybe it's some connection between us. Maybe you'll have a dream that you might need to pay attention to.
I'll text you now at 5 a.m. about my dream. I'll let you know how it was.
Please do. Please do. I'll see if it says anything else about dreams. Pay special attention to the dreams you remember when you wake up. Dreams in which you wake up in the middle dreams that feel very real and intense, dreams that feature spirit guides, departed loved ones, dreams that convey practical information that you could have not known otherwise, dreams that keep coming back to your mind.
Hmm.
Becoming familiar with general dream interpretation symbols can be useful. What's even more helpful is discerning with your intuition what a guidance dream means to you personally. Practice this art form, keep a dream journal. This can be enlightening because some dreams that seemed insignificant at the time will make more sense in hindsight, revealing significant intuitive clues and themes.
It's really interesting because I've had quite a few of those dreams that you mentioned there recently. That's another thing. Dreaming comes back
Okay.
as well when you're not intoxicated with other shit. Sorry, with other stuff
You're good.
in your body. No, that's really interesting.
Yes.
That I might have to keep it. Yeah, I've always been interested in my dreams as well. Are you quite capable of? Because I enjoy sometimes when you wake up from a dream, and then you can sort of remember where you were, and you can put yourself back in the dream when you go to bed again, or when you go back to sleep. Do you find yourself doing that as well? Like if it's a really nice dream, you sort of go, "Where was I?" Like you just finished a Netflix episode, and you're going through to the next one. It's like that.
I would like to be able
Yeah.
to do that. I don't think I have much practice in doing that.
Yeah, no, that's why. Yeah, I
Yeah.
spoke to my girlfriend about it. I said, and she looked at me like I was crazy as well. And I said, "You just put yourself back in your dream." She said, "What do you mean?"
Mm,
I said, "Well, you just like you wake up and then you remember you remember
yes.
the plot, and then you just sort of go back into it, and then it's just like,
Ah.
you drop back in and you carry on your dream." But a dream journal, I'm definitely gonna keep a hold of because I have some mad dreams. I've been having a lot of recurring ones recently as well about
Mm.
yeah, my girlfriend leaving me, so that might have to.
Oh.
So I tell her about
Okay.
it in the
Yeah.
morning,
Explore that.
but yeah, maybe something in that. Oh well,
Yes.
now she
Yeah.
knows.
I'll be honest. I use ChatGPT's dream interpretation.
Okay.
Very rare. Like I've only used it a few times, but sometimes I find it gives, because it can, pull from sources that interpret your dreams. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's just one place I can go and write out my dream, put it in there, and see if anything that it interprets back
Mm-hmm.
resonates for me.
Yeah, but
So it might be helpful.
I always have, like, not always, but there's a recurring dream as well that forever I can remember having it, and it's always like you need a toilet, but you can't find one. Do you ever have? Do you get
Oh.
that one?
Mm-hmm. I haven't had that specific, but I've had like the lost feeling.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm trying to find like where I want to go and I can't find it.
Yeah, no, mine's always I can't find a
Yes.
toilet. Yeah, I can't find a
The
bathroom.
toilet. Oh, I wonder what that means. We need a dream
Yeah,
interpreter. We really do.
oh, I'm giving out all my deep, dark secrets and dreams now. All right, stop me.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. And because it sounds like you have pretty vivid dreams, especially now with your sobriety. So I think there is some power in considering dreams being one way further into intuition, and even consider, I don't have you lucid, can you like lucid dream?
I believe I have done. I try and practice,
Mm-hmm.
but it scares me because I
Yeah.
feel sometimes I get a bit what's the word? It's not a night terror, but I don't feel in control, and I get a bit
Yes. Yes.
yeah, it
Huh?
makes you feel uncomfortable. I've had some weird things happen in my dream, and in my I'm probably oversharing, but I'm going to tell you, Amanda. I remember
Okay.
when I was a kid, and then I'll let you go because I know you want to get off as well with the.
You're good though. I want to hear.
But I remember as a kid, I must have just had a vivid imagination as well because I remember as a kid sometimes I used to play this game, right? And I've never told anyone this, so this is a first for everyone. Actually, I think I told my parents. They looked at me like I was anyway. So I used to stand at the bottom of my stairs, and I used to shout up to the top of my stairs, and these different characters used to come out from behind the wall to the top of my stairs, and they used to sort of talk to me, but so there'd be like crazy things. Like there was a guy with like a pumpkin head in dungarees. That was like the one I could remember the most vividly. And
Wow.
there was a time when I'd go to sleep, and there was a couple of times where I'd wake up and I'd like looking on the edge of my bed or to the side, and there was times where I'd see, and the only way I can describe it, and it's probably going to sound a bit mental, and I apologize. but the only way I can describe it was like there was like the devil,
Hmm.
but it wasn't like a red devil. It was like a purpley, pinky, bluey sort of demon
Mm.
thing stood next to me when I was sleeping, when I opened my eyes, and
Whoa.
it used to scare me stiff. And I remember I used to get so
Yeah,
like frozen out of fear, and I used to tell like
sure.
I'd tell my parents, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's just a dream," but it was like, but it. I
Well, it
don't.
felt real.
Yeah. I don't think it. Like, even now when I think about it, I can see it, and it's and, So if it was a dream, I probably wouldn't have such a vivid picture of it in my head, but I can still see the face, I can see the body, I can remember how I felt, I can remember my room, it's a memory, it's not a dream in my
Yes.
mind. Yeah, I don't know, I've never really explored it with anyone before, because I just told before that it's a dream. Shut up.
No, thank you for your
Yeah.
willingness to bring it up now into the open, because even if we don't analyze it, and that could be something for another time, but even just saying it out loud, again, the power of speaking things out loud. I view the people that come in contact with me, that I'm drawn to, that we share these spaces together, and are creating something through this, to put it in no other words besides just having some sort of special ability, special power, some giftedness. And that might be one way into it. And sometimes it can feel like a dark force or like devilish. But when you open yourself up to it, it doesn't have to be something that's like evil. And the more maybe that you practice, I hear you say like doing the lucid dreaming might be uncomfortable because you feel out of control, but I think the more that you practice, or you have a ritual, this is how they go together. This is how they go together.
We're working it out real time again.
Yes. You have a ritual before you do it. So, there's guided meditations you can do before bed that guide you into lucid dreaming or astral projection or reality shifting, like all these things that some people think are like woo woo, but the CIA does it. So
Yeah.
they just don't want us to know about it. So
That's another
having a
rabbit hole.
ritual. Yes. Yeah, we could
Mm.
we could go on about that.
Yeah.
Um, Having a ritual to protect yourself, like a protective ritual, to set the tone for then going into your dream practice,
Hmm.
might be something
Oh, there you go. That's what said
to
adapt and
consider.
adopt. So I might have to adopt a dream ritual
Yes.
now,
Yes.
or
That's so cool.
adapt my meditation to adopt a dream ritual. There we go. We got there.
There you go. And then see what comes in your dreams, the more that you can start to access
That's
your
it.
your power,
And
your
now
gifts,
my
and then
my next social
tell.
media content will be me in the dark. You just see the face just right here. Me explaining my
Yeah.
dream to everyone. Cameron's gone mad. Yeah, Cameron has
Yeah, I'll be like,
maybe.
I did that.
Yeah,
Amanda did that.
you can blame Amanda. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll wake my
I'll
girlfriend
take
up. Like, you have to hear
all of
this.
it.
You have to write this down for me. Write this down. Yeah.
Oh, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
I love this. It's so
Well,
much
same as
fun.
last time. Good conversation.
Yes.
I've enjoyed it again,
Yes, it
Amanda.
is. Good. Good. Well, anything to wrap us up? Do you want to let people know where to find you on social media, your podcast? Anything you want
Um,
to share before we end?
yeah, podcast is on Spotify and Apple, and also YouTube. I've just recently started a YouTube account as well, where I'm doing some other sort of videos where I just it's called Cammy's Conversation Couch, and I just sit on my sofa and I talk about whatever's in my head at the time, and I just let it go out like that. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I was at Tomu Podcast. Yeah, it'd be great for you to listen and let me know what you think. It's been going really well. I've just had the rewards be wrapped up from Spotify today, and yeah, it's most listened and most shared, like 98%,
I saw that.
globally. So yeah, it's
And I saw that. It's like, that's
pretty
amazing.
intense. Yeah, and it's a
Hmm.
2025 hit show, so I think it's good.
Congratulations. It must be. It must be.
I'd like to share it
I
with
do
everyone
too.
else. Thank you. I'd like to share it with
Hmm.
everyone, and I'd like to raise the awareness. I just want to help people, Amanda. That's all I want to do. I'm not in it for money or fame. I'm in it to to hopefully save lives and help people feel that there's a space and a place for them where they can understand that I see you and it's okay to not be okay, that old cliche.
Yep, I agree. Me too. Me too. And you're doing that. So
Thank
yes,
you.
I hope people listen, comment, like, subscribe, share here, as well as Cameron's. This is, for me, this is more of like the collaboration. It's like a shared space than necessarily like my platform. So I love doing this with people who are also, you know, speaking openly from their couch as well. So yes.
But
All
I really
right.
appreciate having me on, Amanda. You enjoy the rest of your year. Have a lovely Christmas and
Yeah.
a
Thank you.
wonderful new year.
Thank you. You too. Same to that for everyone. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So thank you all. Thank you for showing up for yourselves. And you all amaze me. You too, Cameron. And I love you.
Thanks.